It all began one dark November morning. From my earliest youth, I had been interested in travel, and shortly after I'd finished my studies, I took a post as doctor on the Antelope, a fine ship in His Gracious Majesty's service, which was about to set sail for the South Seas. Just after we left Talalal, a little port where we'd taken on a cargo of spices, we came into the terrible zone of the winds, and very soon we were rolling in high seas, lashed by a furious wind.
We only needed this fog to make us feel at home. It's as bad as London.
Hurry! To starboard!
The cursed wind's going to throw us straight under that reef. We'll have to try and get around it somehow. All hands on deck!
All hands on deck!
All in the mainsail!
All in the mainsail!
All in the topsail!
All in the topsail!
Hard to port!
Captain, the mizzenmast is down.
Captain, the howl's full of water. Oh, lower the boats.
Lower the boats!
Quick there and pour oil on the sea. Our only hope.
I'll never get out of this. I'm exhausted. The ship turned over on us. My friend's gone down. Come on, Gulliver. Don't lose heart like that. You're a powerful swimmer and the shore's not so far off now. I've touched bottom. I'm saved. Oh, what a lovely little beach. There's not a house to be seen. Nobody on the shores, but it doesn't matter. I'm tired out. Oh, sleep. I'll lie down here on this soft grass. Without knowing it, I had come ashore on the land of Lilliput, a tiny little kingdom where the men are no more than a few inches tall. Later, when I had learned this people's language, I found out just how astonished everyone had been when I made my sudden arrival.
Father, look over there. A mountain has come out of the sea during the night.
Oh, a mountain. Great heavens, what will we do with a mountain like that in our little kingdom?
Father Crockton!
Yes, dear?
I've just walked right round the mountain. Right round.
Right round?
Oh, it was a long walk. There's something very funny about it.
Funny?
It looks a bit like us, and every now and then it moves.
Moves? Oh, quite extraordinary. What sort of animal do you think it could be?
Well, I've sent for Professor Acatinois. He's sure to know. Oh. Here he comes.
Let me see. What's this strange thing that's been discovered?
Oh, but it's very high.
Well, at first glance, I'll even state that it's a very interesting discovery. You are in the presence of a species which is rapidly becoming extinct. This species is known as man. You all know that in our language, man means a degenerate being. Notice the various stages of this degeneration. The limbs have become fat and long. The head is far too big for the small brain it contains. Yes, these creatures who used to exist thousands of years ago left the Earth to go to the moon. This must be a fossil which has been preserved by accident and thrown up on our shore by last night's storm.
Professor, it's moving.
My friends, if this creature's alive, you must watch out for the most terrible catastrophes. They're a terrible race. You must fix him to the ground quickly before he wakes up.
Hold in that rope there. A little more over here.
Give me a little bit of that rope, please. Please, now heave.
Of course, I heard nothing at all of these Lilliputian goings-on, as I was in a deep sleep, and in any case, I didn't understand the language at the time. When I awoke, I found myself trussed up like a turkey and firmly fixed to the ground. Now come, let me see. I'm tied down, but I don't suppose these bonds are very secure. I'll just pull with my right hand and see what happens. Oh! There must be 1,000 little arrows sticking into me. Horrible little men. Oh, my hand's hurting me as if I'd been stung by a viper. Well, it's lucky that I kept on my leather jerkin. The best thing for me to do is to lie still. That's better. Things have calmed down a bit, but there's still a lot of movement over there. Oh, I see. They're sending one of their men over. He's on a little tower on wheels. He's just on a level with my eyes. He's wearing a crown. He must be the king. What's he saying? I'll try and reply. Langro Dehel San, Your Highness. Oh, Your Highness seemed to shock him. I'd better try something else. Your Lowliness, Langro Dehel. I don't know what on earth to say to the little man. He seems to be annoyed at everything I say. All right, I'll try to be humble. Your illustrious majesty, I am your servant, your most lowly servant. All right, I agree, your majesty, but I haven't had anything to eat for 24 hours. How on earth am I going to explain that to him? I have to show him with my hands, that's all. Hungry. Eat. Yum. Eat. He seems to have understood. He's getting down from his little tower now, and he's giving orders. He certainly seemed to be having some effect. From what I heard later, my first meal in Lilliput was something that the people will never forget.
His Majesty has given orders that a meal should be taken to the prisoner Man Mountain. Would you be kind enough to make the necessary arrangements?
Very well, Your Highness. What am I to do? Lord High Officer of His Majesty's Footmen, would you be kind enough to tell the Lord High Officer of the Mouth what His Majesty has requested?
Feed that monster. It's impossible. There's only one thing for me to do. That's to ask the help of His Majesty's Lord High Officer of the Kitchen.
Yes. I heard your instructions, Your Highness. I have to give all the food from the royal kitchen to the Man Mountain. I have spent 22 years in this honorable calling, and it's the first time I've been asked to undertake such a lowly task. A task unworthy of the illustrious art of the mouth.
Now, don't be angry and don't let us down. You're the only person who is capable of taking on such a responsibility.
Very well, I agree, Your Highness. But you must leave me free to do exactly as I wish.
Your request is granted. We leave it entirely to you to get us out of our difficult situation.
In that case, members of the kitchen staff, go to your ovens, and may every able-bodied person in this kingdom help us in this task.
ladders against his shoulder, and there's a chain of people bringing the baskets of food.
Do you know that's the 500th leg of lamb he's eating?
Oh, it's not possible. How can you feed such a monster?
Be careful that, for heaven's sake, don't spill the kidney beans. Oh, the monster's thirsty. Bring up more barrels of wine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, what a throat he's got. I'm sure he could swallow the sea.
Let me see. 500 legs of lamb at 3 an arpa each. That makes 1,500 an arpa. 1 cartload of lettuce, 60 an arpa. 120 small loaves, 40 an arpa. 5 barrels of wine, that makes 900 an arpa. So altogether we have 1,500, 1,560, 1,600, 2,500. 2,500 an arpa? Oh, I must have made a mistake. No, I was right. 2,500 an arpa. Great of how. This man's a bottomless pit. He's going to ruin us. Oh, we must hold a state council right away.
Well, Lord Chamberlain, have my orders been carried out?
Yes, Your Majesty, we have poured a sleeping draught into the prisoner's wine.
Good. Is he firmly fixed now?
Oh, yes, Your Majesty. The master blacksmiths in the capital have made 91 chains, and they fixed these to the prisoner's legs. The chains are held by 36 locks each.
Excellent. Members of the council, you have been in session since this morning to decide on the necessary measures concerning our prisoner. I would be glad to hear what you propose.
Your Majesty, we regret to tell you that we can't come to any agreement on this matter.
Very well, we'll have to hear from each of you. In turn, Lord High Admiral.
Your Majesty, I have no doubt in my mind of what must be done to this animal, no doubt at all. He must be driven out of the kingdom as soon as possible.
In other words, you're going to leave him free to come back again and destroy the whole of Lilliput.
But we can't feed him.
Oh.
You've heard the evidence of the Lord High Officer of the Mouth. We are heading for famine. Famine, gentlemen, famine, I tell you.
Well, there's no problem then. We let him die of starvation.
Oh, I've got a better idea. Let's fire poisoned arrows at him. It's much quicker that way.
But we are heading for
Gentlemen, order, please. What if we do let him die? Professor. Your Majesty, I must draw your attention to the dangers that such a solution involves. Such a big corpse could be very embarrassing, and we couldn't bury it, and the risk of disease would be very great.
Let's throw him into the sea.
You know perfectly well that the tide would simply bring him back again.
Well, that's what you say.
Well, the situation seems very difficult.
Your Majesty.
What is it, Lord High Chamberlain?
The officer who's in charge of the guard set over the Man Mountain wants to make his report.
Let him come forward.
Your Majesty, I have news for you, almost incredible news. It really seems as though this Man Mountain has a heart, just like we Lilliputians have.
Huh?
It is moved by feelings of goodness.
Really?
Yes, Your Majesty. As soon as the news of his arrival had spread round the country, a large crowd of Lilliputians came to see him. In spite of all my guards, a number of foolhardy men managed to climb right up on his nose. Oh, Your Majesty, you should have seen the way his enormous hands came down to pick them up, 5 at a time. The crowd screamed with horror, and my soldiers were on the point of charging to come to the rescue of our unfortunate countrymen. When we saw the Man Mountain bring them close up to his face, look at them carefully, then put them on the ground, gently.
Oh, this is most interesting. So he didn't do those fools any harm at all. He didn't even squeeze them a little between his fingers.
Oh, no, Your Majesty. The whole crowd can witness to that.
You see then, members of the council, that this is no monster we have to deal with, and it would be unworthy of our Lilliputian hospitality to allow any harm to come to him.
But, Your Majesty, the problem of food still remains.
This problem can very easily be solved on a national cooperative basis. Every morning, each village will bring 6 cows and 40 sheep to the royal kitchens. They will also bring bread and wine. The royal treasury will see to any other expenses. One of the first things to see to is that our guests should be clothed in the style of our country. 300 tailors must start the task of making him a suit straight away. In addition, 6 of our best teachers must instruct him in our language. Later, I shall talk to the Man Mountain myself. Gentlemen, the meeting is closed.